Yeah, good morning, children. In the last conclusion, as we discussed about the one how Hitler opposed communalism and Jewish people, especially targeted to these groups of the people, and after that, what happened? Let you know that Nazi party's propaganda. In 1928, Nazi party got less than 2.6% of votes in Riksdag, which is known as the lower house of Germany. So what was the next statements? In the year 1932, it became a largest party with 37% of votes. Hitler came to power. So what was the hopes of the German people here? They are thinking about Germany. They are having the hope of a better future. A better future they are going to be expect, the Germans. But meanwhile, how he became means like unquestioned leader. Nobody can question him. So in the initial stage, just he got only 2.6% of votes in Riksdag, which is the lower house of Germany. But meanwhile, when he came to power, 37% and Hitler became a superior and he came into power. So with that, what are his ideology? What he want to make? How he want to rule? Especially the one what he established called undemocratic. Not only undemocratic, autocratic. Generally, people will preferable what we call democracy. Democracy means people's rule, but instead of that, there is no democracy. What he has been clearly said, and not only that, autocratic. Autocratic means disorder rule. He is not following in sequence or order. He break that after when he came to power in the year 1932 and making this Nazi party with 37% of the votes, and that became the largest party over there in Germany. And not only that, what was his intention? Means his intention, his ideology is that only to make as a world dictator. With that intention, he made all such type of arrest. Arbitrary arrest of the political opponents, especially the communists. Whoever the communists are there, then he started making them to put in the concentration camps. So it's one type of torture what he has been made. So all these are only how he captured the power, and with that he started making of his own ideology in which Nazis party's propaganda has been started. As before, as I said for you, public gathering, rallies, and how he attracted by giving the speech. He has been made all the people to be galvanized, attracted. After that, he has given a great hope for the people. But when he came to the power, he forgot everything and he followed his own rules, his own regulation. So that's what says about the one. And the next what we call here, the famous Enabling Act. Here one more act which was introduced by Adolf Hitler, that is on 3rd March 1933. That what we call as the famous Enabling Act. So in this famous Enabling Act, what are his ideology? What he want to make? So especially he was focusing on only one what we call as a world dictator. Not only Germany but all over the world he tried to make and maintain the one what we call a dictatorship. And by that, putting all the rules aside, and even to the parliament also he has been sidelined, and he follows his own orders, his own rules and regulation. That is what he has been implemented here. So that was the main intention of this one what we call Enabling Act. After that, he banned all the opposition political parties. He supported only for one what we call Nazi party. Not only that, he even banned what we call trade and unions. There is no way to follow any trade unions. Trade unions were also banned by him, and no party should be opposite to Nazism. That is what is his ideology. Except Nazi party, remaining all opposition he has been banned. So that what the main thing what he has been performed over here. After that, what he made clear, he brought the economy under his control. The very essential a country to make systematically or smoothly to run what is very essential revenue. So that what he has been made under his control. Economy was under his control, and at the time he did not permitted any media to know the people what is going to be happen in the parliament. So he brought even media under his control. After that, army also he made under his control. Generally, the parliament, the army, and as well as economy should be known to the parliament. But here, without knowing to the parliament, everything he brought under his control. And judiciary is a very important organ, like protecting the law and order. So all these are the four he brought under his control, and then he started ruling with one famous act, what we call Enabling Act, that is on 3rd March 1933. With all these, what are the things what he has been made means special surveillance and security forces. Like in our country, we have various types of forces. BSF, Border Security Force, RPF, Railway Protection Force, like Rapid Action Force, and various departments of this, what we are going to find civil, criminal, and CID, CBI. So in the same manner, here the special surveillance and security forces was also introduced over there in Germany. And what he has been made means regular police uniform to put on only the green uniform he has been allotted for them, and that should be only for police identification, like what we find here army people. So, and he also made SA, or otherwise what we call stormtroopers. So these all are like what we call departmental wise. So such type of allotment what he has been made. Not only that, Gestapo, a secret state police, like spies, knowing the information, things what is going to be happen, whoever they are against of dictatorship, whoever they are against of Nazism, to know all the information, he has been planned all such type of departments. Not only that, SS, like what we call protection squads, and criminal police and security services. So all these are only the one how he brought everything under his control. So with the introducing of such type of enabling act in which all these things brought under his control. With that, what are the things which he has been made over clearly? That is what we call a complete power. He want to make a complete power under his control. That is what is ideology. After that, he started making of torture of chambers, like concentrating all the people in the camp and making them to have one type of torture. And not only that, he got the power that nobody can stop him. Even the rules and regulation, whatever he has been implemented, he can depart anyone or he can arrest anyone without any legal procedure. So things whatever he is performing, not legally, everything he has been followed, illegal procedure. Means nobody should question him, nobody should ask him. If he likes, he may depart or he may arrest and he may keep in the camp. So such type of powers he captured and he started ruling over there in this Germany, and maximum people are only tortured with these rules and regulation, but no one is having such a dare to question him, because he is the one, as I said for you, unquestioned leader. He is only the one, what is his intention means dictatorship is only there in his mindset, and that was continuing, undemocratic, autocratic. So these are the things what they have been followed, and with these tortures, millions of political activities, especially Jewish, they were completely keeping in under concentration of camp, and that how the state will become here a state of horror and fear. What to do? What is the situation? What is going on? People are unable to analyze their ideology. Just he was only in favor of Nazism or Nazi party people. Apart from that, whoever they are opposing to him, he was not yet leaving any person, and that cruelty was made the people to suffer a lot. In such a manner, all these are the concentration of camps where it has been made. That all what it says clearly. That is what we call a state of horror and fear. And not only that, he made all the responsibility. Hitler, he has been made and assigned a responsibility to know the economy to recover. The economist's name, what is his name called? Jarno Sachet. So H will be silenced, that like what we call the pronunciation. Jarno Sachet, how he was making means how the full production was there, in what manner the people were employed, and through the state funded work and creation of programs. So all these are the things, knowing how much he has been spent, what things are happening. So economically, statistically, to know the information, these are the things what they have been made. And in those days, especially the people who used the people's car called Volkswagen. This is what we call the people's car. And how the living standard of a section of Germans are there. So these are the things what it has been described regarding the one. This period of subhuman conditions, which was started by the racist regime, and that was a heavy loss. Like how he has been planning of his own plans to make such type of torture, especially for the one what we call the racist regime. In such a manner, he invested heavy investment in what means armament industry. And what he decided means further they can get employment. Armament industry in the sense nothing but preparation of weapons, like all rifles, missiles, or all these are only related to arms and ammunition. In that he has been heavily invested. That is the meaning what it makes you clear. And after that, Hitler followed. All these are only an aggressive foreign policy. Why he followed such type of aggressive foreign policy means only to recover the territories lost by Germany after the First World War. As we know that we have already learned that Great Britain was victorious. Great Britain, France, Russia, Germany, Italy, Hungary, Austria, all these are the two groups. So among that, the First World War, Great Britain was victorious and Germany has lost its territories. So whatever which was lost in the First World War, with all these plans, with all this ideology, he tried to coop up and he tried to uplift. But as for that, he was unable to do that. And here in this connectivity, with this aggressive foreign policy, he in the year 1939, Hitler tried to attack Poland, a dancing port. That will be about the Second World War. So in 1939 on 1st September, he attacked the Poland. And that what we have saw or seen the earlier what we call this as the Second World War. This was started off on the Second World War because of only one, the Hitler attack on Poland, and he made to saw such type of earlier, and that was the reason. This is the one what it says how this was started to follow the one what we called the Second World War. And after that, Nazis' reign, nothing but rule, was horrible programs of building the racial supremacy. How he followed only the one dictatorship. He opposed all the opposition. No communism, no capitalism, no any other related to only Nazism. That was the main thing what he has been focused, and that was the horrible programs what he has been planned. And in this, what if we take or if we know about these Germans especially, a mass killings of minority communities, especially the Jews, the opposition. He opposed communists, he opposed capitalists, he opposed Jewish. And that what it says here, especially under the shadow of Second World War, the various murders which has been taken consideration. And these are the things, genocidal, if you make the calculation to know about how many number of people were killed and what are the things which are happened means 60 millions of Jewish people, Jews. Not only that, 2 millions of gypsies, 60 millions of Jews, 2 millions of gypsies, 10 millions of Polish civilians, 10 millions of Polish civilians, and 70,000 of Germans. And in this, even the 70,000 Germans, the most of the people were physically handicapped, mentally retarded. But even for them also he did not leave, and all these are the things which has been made. Such type of ideology are only what we say like dictatorship. That what he has been introduced such type of all these acts like enabling act, making of all these parliament aside and making of his own rules and regulation under his control, with taking the charge like army, judiciary, media, economy under his control, and he followed as whatever he liked. Just that was the rule which he has been followed, and at last the killing which was taken place here very dangerously, that is they killed around about thousands of people in gas chambers. This is the various killings centers which they have seen, like concentration camps, and these are only related to the gas chambers, what we call this as like Auschwitz. So such type of things which were happened, that are what it says about the World War. From Hitler's speech, what was his ideology, what he was trying to express in his speech here related to Hitler, as what he motivates and what he expresses clearly. The earth is not for anyone else. The people who have courage, daring to rule and conquer, such type of guts the person should be inculcated, what he says very clearly in his speech. And what he says is that the primary right of this world is only right to life. And that was his intention, that he wanted to bring the one what we call world dictator, such type of dictatorship as he was making. And that was the reason he became a great orator and how he was attracted to the people. And that was his famous speech, what he says that the primary right of this world is only right to life. To lead, to rule and to conquer, what they have to be possessed means only the one what we call courage, daring, that makes to rule and to become a world dictator, what he has been through and what he has been made. That all what it makes us clear. And coming to the next, what we call indoctrination. Like when we compare to all other nations, different countries will have different ideology. But whereas here, it is quite different here. Right from 6 to 10 years of age groups of boys, what they are giving means Nazi principles, Nazi ideology. So with these Nazi principles, Nazi ideology, what they are inculcating means only the one. What is that means? Like giving preliminary military training. They have to involve in that. And there in that, if you hear Adolf Hitler, I swear, after completion of the military training, they have to take an oath. All my energy, all my strength, I want to support only for the ruler Hitler. So such type of training which he has been started giving. Not only that, he has given the flags to wave. So the age group of 6 to 10 years only, they know how to wave the red flag. It is a symbolic representation to make that we have to fight for our nation and we have to build very strong only in making of support of German's ideology. That what he has been made, the training what he has been given, preliminary training or preliminary military training. So the age group of 6 to 10 means like when childhood, whatever the things which we learn, that will be forever. So that was his intention, and he made such type of ideology to have that propaganda to make, what is that means, their energy, their strength should be only supporting for Germany and only for Nazism. Such type of racial feeling was inculcated even for the children right from the age group of 6 to 10 years. And that what he says, that they have to take the oath. I swear I'm ready to give my energy, strength only for the nation. So that what he has been made indoctrination, that all what it supports regarding Hitler to make. That was the reason all the people of Nazism, they accepted, they followed, and that was the reason he became the world dictator and how he has been ruled. That comes under the one what we call indoctrination. And what was the role of women under the Nazis? What he says means women and men are quite different what we can find here. So what it says means only the men can give the courage to participate in the battlefield. But whereas the woman, only the eternal life, how to protect the children, what she tries. So what he decided is that women should not be interfere in this. So like Benito Mussolini, a war is to a nation what maternity is to women. So in such a manner, even for the women of Nazis, he says that they should not interfere in this war as we have to be ready to sacrifice. Only the sacrificing spirit for the battlefield should be there for every man and every people, whoever they are participating, putting them, the women aside. So all these are only the things what he has been delivered and made to strengthen such type of Nazism in Germany. So these are the things about all his doctrination. And coming to Pastor Nilibod, So what he was writing his experience from the given poetry. What he says means, I'm not a communist. Well, I'm not. I'm not a trade unionist. I'm not a trade unionist. I'm not a communist. I'm not a social democratic. So, like in this manner, like everyone, they have been shared, and he alone was left over. No one is there to stand with him. So, all these are only the things what it makes how the Nazism was implemented, dominated, and that became worldwide as a superior and racial supremacy, particularly the one what we call Nazism. So such type of waving of flag, Nazi salute, making the child to have the training, and these all are only the ideologies what he has been made in this indoctrination, and making male and female to be separate. Only the men can have such type of courage and sacrificing for the nation. So these all are the things what he has been expressed related to Hitler ideologies. Okay. After the end of Nazism, now we are discussing about the one what we call World War II, 1939 to 1945. So, as we have already discussed in First World War, like aggressive nationalism, imperialism, secret alliance, Balkan politics, militarism, the immediate cause of World War I. So here, coming to Second World War, aggressive nationalism, imperialism, secret alliance. With all these, how the Second World War context in which we are going to be known and learn with this prefix in which what we are going to understand and learn. The first what we are going to discuss about the one called the Treaty of Versailles, intensity of terms. The Treaty of Versailles, intensity of the terms. The Treaty of Versailles in the year 1919. What is this Treaty of Versailles means? It's an international conference. International conference which was held, and in this, after the First World War, after the end of the First World War, a larger nations were participated in this palace of one what we call Versailles. Nearly around about 32 nations, 3/4 of the world population were participated in this Versailles. And what was the thing here we have to notice, especially related to Treaty of Versailles? Here only the victorious nations were invited, like United States of America, United Kingdom, France, Italy and Japan. These are the nations which are invited for this Treaty of Versailles. So there in this conference which was going on with the 32 nations, and 3/4 of the world population were present over there in this, but the defeated nations like Russia, Germany, Austria, Turkey, these nations were not invited. No invitation card for them. So in this manner, what are the things which they have been decided? The one what we call Treaty of Versailles. So Treaty of Versailles is making the importance. Firstly, what the said means, Germans should return the colonies in Africa occupied in the year 1880s. Africa is regarded as a dark continent. Germans' ideology wherever the territory is to occupy and to capture, that as what we have seen is earlier related to the Nazism. So that whatever he has been captured, that should be returned back in the year 1880s. That is the one. And not only that, European areas, especially the one what we call Alsace and Lorraine. This is what we call Alsace and Lorraine, which was occupied from France in the year 1871. So whatever the Alsace and Lorraine which is related to France, that should be given back. So that was seriously, strictly what the Treaty of Versailles has asked Germany to repay such type of things whichever illegally they captured or illegally they occupied. That is the one. And secondly, what is the thing that working here means, as we know that in the First World War, the first main importance in this, the secondly what they are asking is to pull down the army. In the initial stage in the First World War, around about 9 lakhs of the army people are there. Now they are asking to come down with 1 lakh. So it should be pulled down. And not only that, submarines and as well as 6 battleships. These are especially for naval stronger. that should be less than 10,000 tons. So these are the things what they are saying. This is nothing but like what we call arms and ammunition. All these are only the weapons which they made, arsenals otherwise. So these all are only made for what means to storage such type of arms and ammunition. Armaments otherwise you can consider that. So all these are the things to reduce. Not only that, a dozen of torpedo missiles, carriers or destroyers. So whatever they are having such type of heavy, all these things have to be reduced. And this is what the Treaty of Versailles is. Isn't it surprising for us? Why a dictat imposed on them? So all these are only what it has been made clear in this Treaty of Versailles. But these people no respect or no any responsibility for it. So these are the things what it was happened in this one Treaty of Versailles in 1919 after the end of the First World War, where the conference which was held, and these are the things which they have been made. So this is a very important point while you are writing in your examination, to reduce the army, to pull down and diktat which was imposed on them. Isn't it? It is really this was a surprising one, and they don't have responsibility, they don't have response. That was the end of the one what we call the Treaty of Versailles. Next, after that, we are going to discuss about the one called League of Nations. After the end of Treaty of Versailles, the next what it came into existence called League of Nations. League of Nations came into existence in the year 1920. 10th Jan, what it says. So failure of League of Nations. How this League of Nations were failure? The main aim of League of Nations is only to prevent wars in future, preserve peace. Prevent wars in future, preserve peace. So with that intention, the League of Nations came into existence. But here, neither Russia nor Germany was invited, and it tried to keep the number of members over there in this League of Nations. But that was not accepted by this, because they are not following the rules and regulations which was introduced in this League of Nations. And the US President Woodrow Wilson is the architecture of League of Nations. Who was the architecture of League of Nations means Woodrow Wilson. So there in this League of Nations, how many number of members are there? Nearly around about 58 number of members are there. So what was the intention of this League of Nations? Means countries hope that the League would help remove wars and collective security. What are the nations they are expecting? What was their hope? Means League of Nations can solve the problem. Up to now, whatever the problems which we have seen earlier because of wars, all this can be changed, and what we are going to get here, like what we call settled disputes, whatever the settlements which are related to the nations. So such type of disputes to eliminate the differences and to settle what it tried. It's tried a lot to eliminate such type of the gap between these nations which are participating. That is what we call settled disputes. Through negotiation. Negotiation means talks. Like in previous what we have seen, Germany occupied Alsace and Lorraine, which is related to France. So in that connectivity, they may have some discussion, talks, to whom actual the territory related, and with which they try to settle such type of disputes throughout the nations wherever they are illegally occupied and captured. But even though this is unable to do that, an international court of justice, this is the international court of justice. As we know that when we go to the court, what we expect and what we wait for means judgment. So here also the judgment regarding what means to settle the disputes, whatever the nations which are participating unknowingly involved in the war and how they illegally occupied of the other territories, to give them back. This is the court which is functioning called International Court of Justice, which is located at Hague in Netherlands. So that was the importance over here. But though they try to make all such type of things, the main intention, as I said to you earlier, prevent war and preserve peace. So that was failure because of these nations were violating, especially the nations like Germany, Japan, Italy, from violating international agreements and attacking other countries. So these are the nations, they are unable to follow the norms what the League of Nations has introduced. So there the number of members are 58, and not only that, it strives for labor welfare, health, education. In all aspects, it tries to make the better and the best for the future. But these are the nations, they violated, they break the rules and regulations. So due to that, here the League of Nations which became failure. That was the end of this failure and League of Nations. The upcoming class we are going to discuss the next topic. Thank you.